I saw a video on TikTok where there's a whistle to summon crows. Like it's to call crows. I played the sound in my backyard because I do have crows. I have a crow's nest in a tree. The crows responded. It really worked. So I'm going to try to do this again. It has been months since I've discovered crows. I didn't choose the corvid life. The corvid life chose me. They live in my backyard, but they've lived in our superstitions for centuries. Today, I'm looking past the murder. And I want to see what these birds are really trying to tell us. Okay, so I just played it. I couldn't record myself, but this is the video. I'm going to put it on the screen. This is the video that I used. I'm going to see if I see any crows show up again. I got to clean the window here. It's kind of dirty. Okay, so there's a grackle. I think she heard it. She's in the nest. There she is. So I decided to start posting clips and little videos here and there. So cute. Just sort of giving updates on the crows in my backyard. And for the most part, most of the comment section or the comments are very positive. A lot of them sort of gave me insight on what crows like to eat. By the way, I've discovered unsalted cashews is one. Peanuts. My crows specifically, they do like tomato, cat food. Those are like the three things. Oh, an egg. Those are like the things that I've been feeding them. But then I got dark, ominous comments, one of which was superstitions about crows. And basically like, weren't crows the cause of like mad cow disease, the spread of mad cow disease? And I'm like, huh? So I looked it up and that is actually true. Today, I'm gonna do something differently. So to be safe, I'm gonna throw it on the other side of the wall for right now, till I do further research over the wall. Okay, see ya. After that, I went down like this rabbit hole. It's fascinating. So let me share with you some of the darker history or just superstitions surrounding crows. I'll show you like my introduction to these crows that live in a nest in the corner of my backyard, like on the other side of the brick wall. I didn't choose the corvid life. The corvid life chose me. So a couple of weeks ago, I was cooking outside for a recipe video, and something called me. Crows. Hi. And I just thought it was amazing, and I guess they want to eat because they smell the food. So here we are. Right there, there's a nest. Let's see if you can see it. I was filming a recipe video outside for my other channel. A lot of you know that channel. A lot of you follow me from that channel, and I don't post as frequent here on this channel. So here we are again. Hopefully I can change that this year. I'm trying. And I was just so amazed. It was freaky because I felt like the crows were trying to talk to me. And I believe they actually were, because that was the catalyst for me discovering on how to befriend crows, and specifically, what do crows eat? I felt like they were hungry. And I'm in the business of cooking and I love to feed people. Why not the crows, right? So for those of you that are not aware of this information, a group of crows are actually called a murder of crows. So there's that. And I pulled up like this search. Like I said, I sort of just went down this rabbit hole and pulled information to get clarity on why some of the comments were like, ooh, you know, crows are bad. Ooh, stay away. And I'm going to read some of this to you. One of the most common dark associations in the collective noun for the group of crows, which is called a murder. I just said that. The term originated from folk tales and medieval superstitions, suggesting that crows would gather to hold trials for a fellow crow who had committed a crime, often ending in the group pecking the offender to death. Look, those are the rules of the animal kingdom. So if
he was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
maybe the crows are doing us a public service. I don't know. I choose to see the silver lining here. Another one, and this is one of the comments that I received in one of my videos. Harbingers of death and war. In many Western cultures, seeing a lone crow was traditionally viewed as a bad omen or a sign of impending death. This belief was bolstered by the fact that crows are carrion birds. They were historically seen on battlefields and near gallows, leading to the cultural association between the bird and the transition from life to the afterlife. Now, in the crow's defense, crows are actually scavengers. So let's say it's like the ye old medieval times and, you know, someone is being executed. Well, crows, from what I understand, are very smart. So it would make sense that they would sort of linger and fly and meet wherever there was death because they are scavengers. Not that they are carnivorous. I'm not saying that. Actually, crows probably eat more plant-based, again, from what I researched. But I could see why people would see it as a negative thing because they are part of like that whole scavenger bird family. Okay, so here's another dark, ominous, like very superstitious part of like the history of crows. In Irish mythology, the goddess Morrigan, I hope I said that right, Morrigan, often appeared in the form of a crow or a raven. She represented war, fate, and death, frequently hovering over battlefields to signify who would fall. This cemented the crow's image as a creature that exists in the in-between space of life and destruction. A lot of dark and eerie representation that people kind of connect with crows. And look, I get it, because the first time that I had an interaction with the crows that were sitting on my brick wall, it was kind of like, huh? Are you talking to me? I literally felt like the crows were talking to me. And it was just like, oh. And it did not, by the way, I did not feel like Snow White. I absolutely did not feel like Snow White in that moment. I didn't feel like, oh, a pretty little bird. I was like, ooh, okay, the crow was looking at me. I know a lot of people look at birds and they're like, oh, they're so cute. But there is something just so striking about a jet black crow. So there's that. But now, it's not all doom and gloom with crows, in my opinion. Now, I welcome you to comment down below and give your take on this, your hot take on this, or knowledge that you have. But I want to reflect on the positive things. First of all, I find them very entertaining. I've been spending a lot more time on my patio, and there's just something so cool about just watching the birds. Like, I don't only have crows, I have grackles, which someone told me online that I mistook grackles as like young crows. And they were like, nope, that's a grackle. Those are not young crows. And then I discovered that most crows, or the habits of crows, is that they don't really leave the nest until they're almost fully grown. So you really wouldn't see tiny, tiny baby crows just flittering about looking for food. But I have like other birds. I've seen cardinals, I've seen blue jays, I have mockingbirds, I have mourning doves. So I have a variety of birds that sort of hang out on the brick wall in the trees behind my backyard, and I find it very peaceful and relaxing. I choose to believe that crows, animals, my tree friends, we all can coexist and bring peace to my little humble backyard. I also learned through comments and just researching that crows are among the most intelligent animals on the planet. They possess brain-to-body ratios similar to primates. They have been observed creating their own tools. By the way, I actually observed that today. I saw the crow, like it looked like it had a rock or an acorn. I couldn't tell because at a distance, but I did film it. And if you see here, I'm going to show you the video. It looks like the crow is literally using that rock or whatever that is, that stone, and digging into the ground, which also led me down a rabbit hole that they actually bury food sometimes. That they'll bury food in the ground and come back and like dig it up and they have food. And it also says that they can solve multi-step puzzles that require planning for the future. And here's the other thing that I think is so cool. They recognize and remember human faces. So crows have a remarkable ability to distinguish between individual humans, and research has also shown that if you feed them, as I've been doing, they will recognize me, and they may even alert other crows that I'm friendly, that I'm a-friendly. Conversely, they can hold grudges for years against humans who have treated them poorly, teaching their offspring to avoid those specific people. So that could be their intelligence, especially in, self-preservation around, humans or living amongst humans or their environment. I get that maybe historically crows were associated with just very ominous and negative, because how many of us, I don't think I've ever done this, but if you have ever shooed crows away or like just kind of bad vibes to the crows, I guarantee you they're like, ooh, not a good person. So think about it. Historically, if maybe, someone were mean to crows, they remember that. And they're probably going to act accordingly. Another thing is gifting behavior. There are many documented cases of crows bringing gifts to humans who feed them regularly, and I have seen this online. These objects are often shiny items like buttons, pebbles, sea glass, or bits of metal. They're believed to be a form of social bonding or a thank you for consistent food source. I have to say this. I did see some I don't know, I think I saw like a clump of, I don't know if it was like material, and it was on my patio, and it was strange because I was something that wasn't there. And then sometimes I will find like just a random piece of trash. And now in hindsight, I'm like,
this is weird. Why is there?
Maybe they brought that for me. I don't know, but thank you, crows. So in my opinion, I actually choose to believe that crows are smart, that they can be friendly, and you know what? I see it as a positive sign. And going back off of that superstition, when you see a lone crow, that it's like this harbinger of death or war and destruction. Well, I have two that live in that nest. I believe it's like a mom and a dad raising their little young ones in the nest. And I have seen the babies already hatch because I see their heads pop out of the nest when I look. So, I see it just... My trees are teeming with life and birds. So that's the way I like to see it. It's something positive. I also looked this up because I really wanted to just inform myself when I read some of those comments that were a little bit darker. So crows are considered sentinels of like the neighborhood, especially like crows in like suburban or urban areas with people. Crows use specific harsh scolding calls. It's to identify any predators nearby. And I will say that I have heard these crows kind of like call out, and I'm starting to pick up on their different like calls. And it also says that when you hear a group of crows making a ruckus, they are essentially crowdsourcing security. It's basically their own calls to each other like, trouble's coming, or it's like a warning. So I do notice there's a specific call. I can't mimic it. I'm not going to sound like a crow.
Cause I don't care.
Yeah, immediately no. Immediately no. I'm telling you right now, I seen what I needed to see.
Oh, did you witness that travesty? I was so embarrassed. I'll hear other crows in the neighborhood kind of call out at the same time. And I'm like, what is going on? And when I research that, they must, see an owl or a hawk. Another thing I find fascinating is crows are incredibly family oriented. Much of their daily cawing is actually maintaining family bonds. They use different vocalizations to check in with their mates. And I've seen this because the female, when she's like nesting, I would literally see sitting on my patio, she would call out, call out, call out. And then like moments later, here comes the male crow. And I've seen him bring her food while she was nesting. Now I notice her coming out of her nest and she'll land in my backyard when I throw cashews or cat food or tomatoes. So, she doesn't have to go far from the nest. So crows have a specific assembly call used to notify their murder or their, family or, group that a reliable food source has been found. Well, that would be my backyard. So I have not had a large group of crows in my backyard. At most, I've seen just 3. And here recently, it's only been the 2. I think in the future, I might have more crows. But as of now, it's just 2 that I've seen, 2 or 3. So because they can recognize faces, their talk to you is personal. And that's how I felt when they first were like cawing on the brick wall in that video. Like I was like, huh, me? I did feel like it was personal. And it kind of was like, whoa. A soft rattling coo or a clicking sound is often a sign of comfort and recognition. And I have heard them say that. So if they fly towards you while making a low-pitched sound, they are essentially saying, I know who you are and I know why you're here. I can't say that I've had that exact exchange with the exception of that one time, but I did read somewhere that crows do not like, when they feel like they don't know you yet, they don't like to be watched. So what I do is I'll toss the food out to them and then I run inside and I sort of wait by my window because like I said, I find it relaxing. And I'll sit here in front of the window and I'll just watch when they come and I see them eat the food. And that's okay with me. I don't need to be like the bird woman with like a bird on my shoulder. I'm actually content just watching them in their natural habitat element doing their crow things every day. Because I definitely don't want to disrupt their natural ability to be able to scavenge and feed themselves. So that's another reason why I'm okay if they don't land on my hand or shoulder or get close to me. That's okay. It is what it is. I like my crows. I find it peaceful. I guess. Are you calling to someone? Oh, he flew away. Okay, there's another one here. Get the cashews. Okay, they've discovered the cashews. Success. Oh. Where'd you go? I think they hopped over the fence. Okay, they really like the cashews. You were right.